friends, so we're gonna continue starting seeds. We're getting towards the end of July here. I think there's like a week left in the month. And we have work to do. I'm gonna start tomatoes in September in the ground, and if I'm going to start all kinds of things, cucumbers, I need to start those right away. So I know these aren't exactly garden gloves, but they're getting the job done today. So we are starting with our seed starting mix in these little, oops, not that one. These are biodegradable, right? So they are meant to break down. I use them until they start to fall apart. Because why not? It's free, right? So it took a little less than a week for the tomatillos to sprout, which is great. They are a little bit leggy, but I'm not overly concerned with that. I just put them out onto the back counter so that they are sitting now in direct sunlight. We'll see how that works out, because direct sunlight has not been fun this season. Sticks. Don't like sticks in my soil. Okay, I'm gonna grab some rainwater in these, and then we are going to moisten these up and get started. Okay. Okay, first one we're gonna start is a mammoth sunflower. And we're starting this one now. It's actually really ironic. We always grow the papayas in the front of the house. Every year we do the same thing. We pull the old trees, put in new ones. And one of them is not doing so great this year. It's looking like the crown on top where your leaves sprout from, it's looking unhealthy. So I'm prepping for the worst. And then worst case scenario, I can just plant my sunflower somewhere else. But this mammoth sunflower is gonna go in the ground there. Ooh, I need to label these. Please hold. So friends, every year I do the same thing. I either use a popsicle stick or like a tongue depressor kind of little wooden stick. You know what I'm talking about. You get them at the Dollar Tree, but or $1.25 tree. This year I'm going to use blue painter's tape and label them on the side. Let me see. And see how that fares for me. All right. Instant regret. Okay, no, we're good. Okay. I couldn't get it off with my hands because of the gloves. Okay. Mammoth sunflower. Also, zinnias, Manhattan peppers, dahlias. Who's next? Okay, so we also need to start a few things. I'm looking for tomatoes, Roma tomatoes. Now, planting seeds, getting started gardening, a beginner garden is as easy as can be. If you've never done it before, it literally just takes a pot, some soil, and a seed. And even though you may not want to go through the whole starting a seed thing, you can get starts at the grocery store. You can get them at your big box stores, at your, excuse me, at your garden centers. you can get your starts and just pick something you love to eat and get started with that one. Now, I do recommend you do a little research, because usually when you buy a start or when you buy a tomato seed, for instance, it will tell you if it's determinate or indeterminate, which means indeterminate, I'm gonna grow on a vine for a long time. Determinate, I always think about it like this, I know it's kind of morbid, but I'm determined to die, which means they're going to give a bush, grow to a certain height, give a ton of tomatoes, hopefully, and then the tree is going to die back and it will not continue. This one, indeterminate, means continuing on. Determinate means I'm done quickly. So we're gonna put in determinate Roma tomatoes. We're gonna try that one more time. One more time, I refuse to give up. So I wanna do a minimum of 8 plants. 3 ready here. Oh, excuse me. Did I mention I'm highly allergic to bees? No big deal. No big deal. Just checking me out, but you know, why risk it, right? Let me get some clear ones. Very good. Let me get water. So far, I'm not hating this soil. I think I got it at Target. And usually, when I would buy seed starting soil, I would find it to be a little bit hydrophobic because they mix it with peat moss. But this one's doing okay, I'm not upset. Okay, so we're gonna go in 2 or 3 seeds per container, and then we'll thin it out after. Perfect. Everyone's gonna get a name tag. And then just kind of cover up the seeds lightly. You don't want to go too deep. Every package of seeds will kind of tell you how far to go with the seeds. Sometimes they will let you know, like, this needs to be planted an inch deep to be started, but for the most part it's more of a lighter planting. Okay, here we go. Roma tomatoes, ready to go. It's that easy, y'all. That's how simple it is to just get started. Excuse me. Thank you. Does anybody else talk to bugs? I talk to bugs. Rex is yelling at traffic. He also dislikes it. Let me check though. Okay, no. Do you find that dogs like know people's auras? Like they can tell if they're like good? I think they can. There's this lady that walks by every day in the morning and then again in the afternoon, and Rex does not like her. I mean, like, at all. Sorry. Like, she tries to be friendly with him, but he's just not having it. He is not having it. Okay. We've got the aromas ready to go. We've got the sunflower ready to go. I have another one here because, well, I'm gonna need more. But, okay. We're gonna give this a try. So I'm doing the spring burpless. We'll see how that does. That's what they look like. Oh, no wait, I need to water first. Moisten your soil, children. Cover. Name tag. And on their kook. Okay, we'll grab more soil. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, if you've never been here before, why is she starting seeds now? Well, because I'm in South Florida. Miami-Dade County, to be exact. And it's been over 100 and something degrees every single day. So you're not going to grow much in this heat, especially not delicate things like tomatoes and cucumbers. They just can't handle it. So I need to start them now, and my fall garden is more tomatoes and cucumbers instead of spring and summer. So that's why we're doing this today. So I'm thinking 2 cucumber plants because I'm going to plant them in a specific area. I'm actually gonna expand my garden from the backyard to the front. It needs to be done in a very tasteful way because Miami-Dade is very finicky about how things look from the outside. So, it needs to be done in a very tasteful way. It's landscaping. So we're gonna plant these cucumbers in the front of the house to make it look decorative. This is almost out. No. Okay. You know, things are getting tougher and tougher around here with regulations and rules and things of that nature. I know they do it for a reason, because if not, people will get very out of control very quickly, and it'll turn into like a trash heap. So they have to have rules and they have to have regulations, and I understand that. But there's a fine line between rules and regulations. And just kind of taking advantage of people. Okay. Okay, we are doing zucchini next. I'm only going to do 1 zucchini plant because we don't really eat it that often. and we're gonna try, because I've never been able to grow zucchini, like not one time. So we're gonna give that a try. We're gonna see what happens there. Fingers crossed. Zucchinis. What was next? You know what? We're gonna do the little yellow pear tomatoes. I've heard nothing. I know they're indeterminate, but I've heard nothing but good things about these guys. So we're gonna give those a try. Now I would be putting these in a pot, so I'm just gonna do one. And then if we love it, we'll plant more of them later. I think that's what we're gonna do for today. A lot of, I want to start flowers as well. I'll start flowers. All right. You twisted my arm. Well, I feel like there was a movie back in the day where you had to hide when the sun came out, because if not it would cook you and you would die in the sunlight. Oh, I can't remember what movie that was. If you know what movie that is, drop it in the comments down below and remind me of it, please. But that's what it feels like when the sun's coming up, like it's coming up right now. I came out to the yard to start working at 6:30, 6:45. It is now, let me tell you, it is now 7:29 and the sun's popping up, and I'm done. I'm ready to go in. Okay, I'm gonna start some zinnias because these are beautiful and I've always wanted to grow them, never been able to. Zinnias and dahlias, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Alright, so that's going to be it today. We're going to check back on these in the next week, and I'll bring you guys along so you guys can check out with me and see the progress with not only my new seed starting mix that I'm using for the first time, but also to see how they do in these pots. So far the tomatillos have done great. I did those first just to test it out and see how it's going. They're doing really well. So now let's see how these guys do. starting a bunch of seeds is a huge investment. Super excited about it, but now is the time for us, so I want to take advantage. I want to thank you guys for joining me today in my experiments. It's not complicated, y'all. It's so easy to get started with a garden. You don't have to grow cabbage if you don't eat cabbage. You don't have to grow broccoli if you hate it. If you just love tomatoes and peppers, grow tomatoes and peppers. And if you live somewhere where it's restricted space, do the research. There are plants that are made for that, where you can place just a pot on a balcony and just have one tomato tree growing. Honestly, it just brings joy to your life. I understand you're not going to get a year's worth of tomatoes from that, but we used to do it and I loved it. Every day I would go outside, pick one tomato. It brought me happiness. So I'm just sharing that with you guys because maybe it's an option for you to get started and go learning on your journey for gardening the same way that I did. Put a seed in some soil and see what happens next. You guys take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and a thumbs up. Have a wonderful day. Take care.